Hi guys, hi guys. Mm, Hi guys, if you're, I just want to know if my audio is okay right now. I just want to know if my audio is okay. Mm, okay, alright. Waiting for someone to connect in and let me know if the audio is fantastic. Once the audio is okay, then we go ahead. Okay. Okay, okay. Hi everyone. Hi everyone joining in. Hi everybody. Hello. Hello. All right. All right. Hi there watching. How are you? Can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. Just put for me a comment if you can hear me. I just want to know if you can hear me well so I get started. I just want to know if you can hear me well so I get started. Thanks for tuning in. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Hey guys, can you hear me? Hello. Okay, so yes, can you hear me, Emma? Emma, just help me comment. Can you hear me? Just help me comment if you can hear me well. Then we get started. Emma, can you hear me? Somebody help me comment. In the first video, my audio was not. Oh yeah, nice, nice. So Emma, help me share this video. Help me invite more people. Help me invite more people as we get started. Help me invite more people. So guys, I want to tell you a story today that I think is gonna help you to grow your social media, or of course also your digital marketing. Also, sometimes you may not be a marketer. You may be doing social media for some other things and stuff, but we're gonna discuss. So I'm gonna give you a few tips on how I grew my Twitter account from 1K to 75K, and that was in from around 2016 December. Okay. Hey, hi Brian. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, so that was around December 2016 when actually I started moving my Twitter to the next level. But I want to give you a background. First and foremost, thank you so much, guys, for those of you that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much. So I want to give you a background of how I started actually doing digital and what has helped me to be able to develop platform per platform. Because what I've done, my story is not, I have not built all the platforms at the same time. So I want to give you a background story to what I have actually been doing over the years, so that you guys can maybe pick out something to do. So in 2009, I really, really loved writing a lot, okay? So in 2009, I started a blog. It was called Mind Leaders Uganda. Now, that blog was on Google, Blogger. So I used to take photos, at the same time describe the photos in the captions, and I used to post them. But I realized that later on I could not keep up the pace of always moving to new places to take photos. So in 2010, around August, I had to actually stop blogging with photos, and I closed that blog. So I opened a new blog where I would actually be using text to write, okay? Now in 2010, by the time I started blog, I hadn't even opened up a Twitter account. I hadn't opened up a LinkedIn account. All I had was my Facebook and my blog. So the reason I opened the Blogger is because I loved telling stories. So in a way of telling stories, I wanted a platform where I can be able to write out something, you know, write about e-commerce, and I always wrote about e-commerce and stuff like that. So after around 3 months of writing, I decided to open up a Twitter account. So that was 2010 in December, okay? So, but between 2010 December and 2016, I was never so active on my Twitter account. I was very busy on the blog. So I used to write content about, you know, I would always go for social gatherings, for social meetups. Then I go back and write a story and post on my blog. By then there were a few readers, but it was very interesting because a blog would actually give you, a blog post would always give you ample time to, you know, to express yourself, to talk about many things, and to talk about a lot of stuff. So in 2016, after several, you know, articles on my blog, I decided to focus on social media directly, and that was, I chose 2 platforms to focus on, okay? I chose Twitter and I chose LinkedIn. The reason I chose that is the place where I was working by then, a lot of people used to talk about LinkedIn, okay? They would always talk about LinkedIn, they would always talk about, Twitter, and Facebook. Of course, Facebook was a community app where, of course, in school way back, we could connect up with our hobbies and urges. So in 2016 is when I actively started using my Twitter, okay? So the story of how to grow a community can be a wide one, but I want to give you guys some of the best tips on how you can grow your community. And these tips actually do not only apply to Twitter. Even though Twitter has in the way the audience picks into what you say, because you know there is a lot of text content on Twitter which doesn't require a lot of video and stuff, but at the same time you can actually have the two combined together. So what I want to give you today is I want to give you those tips. I want to give you the tips on how to grow your Twitter community and why it is very, very important, because what I have discovered, because I have been able to start YouTube, and with the support of my followers from other platforms, my YouTube is growing faster. Okay, my YouTube is growing faster. We have been able to reach 1,000 subscribers in 27 days. In 27 days. I'm going to tell you guys another story of how actually we managed to grow this YouTube channel from 0 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers in 27 days. But for today, let's focus on Twitter. And the reason I want you guys to grow your other platforms is because it becomes very important for distribution of your content. See, you could have a very big following on one platform, but the engagement keeps on decreasing if your platform content doesn't reach out to audiences. So the biggest tip here that I want you guys to have, and feel free, by the way, if you have any tips, to put them in the comment section. But the biggest tip that I want to give you guys, if you want to grow a platform, always ensure that your content distribution is to the point, okay? Because content distribution is the #1 key for you to be able to grow any platform. If you posted good content on Facebook, if you posted good content on Twitter, if you posted good content on Instagram, until people are able to share, until you're able to reach out to your community, and people are able to see what you've posted, then your content is not going to have any viewers, okay, until you're able to share. So my #1 tip is this: grow all your platforms where you exist. Grow all your platforms where you exist. If you're on Twitter, which I'm discussing today, make sure that people on LinkedIn get to know that you are on Twitter as well. Make sure that people on your YouTube get to know that you are on Twitter, so that if they are not on LinkedIn, they are not on YouTube, they can reach out to you on Twitter. So ensure that your community is aware of all the platforms where you do exist. That is very, very important. And the reason this is important is because you want people to engage with you whenever and wherever you are. And that is the reason you must make sure that your community understands where you are and the platforms that you do exist on. So that is tip #1. Tip #2, social media growth does not happen overnight, okay? Now, I know a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I come across, they always ask me, how should I grow my Twitter? How should I grow my Facebook? How should I grow my Instagram? If you want to grow your Instagram, if you want to grow your Twitter, if you want to grow, because I told you these tips cut across, and what I'm sharing today is something that you can apply to any platform and it will give you results. One of the things that you must convince yourself with is growth is a process, okay? I have seen people who want to grow from 500 to 10K in 1 month. Now, that is a special case. That is really, really a special case. And that can happen only maybe to very big figures, maybe when they hit a platform and they haven't existed there before, you know, maybe celebrities and stuff, and people are excited to go and follow them. But also what that means is, if that community has not been nurtured, then the engagement will go down, okay? Many of you must have seen pages where you find 1 million subscribers, 1 million followers, and then the engagement is 2 likes, 5 likes, 10 likes. It doesn't mean people don't exist on those platforms, but it means the owner of the platform did not create a nurturing culture. Because when I talk about nurturing a community, I mean a community that has grown organically over time through the process, okay? Through the process of you posting content. And the reason you want your community to grow organically is you're going to learn a lot of things. Guys, learning on digital media is every day. You're going to learn how to react to people's comments. You're going to learn how to moderate your content. You're going to learn how to express yourself. Because remember, what you're posting it for thousands and thousands of eyes, thousands and thousands of people. They are going to be reading this. So as a content creator, you need to learn through the process so that you can be able to post and create content that is going to be attractive to your community, right? And after you have looked at your community, because nurturing, when someone says, hey, you need to nurture your community online, what they mean is people need to be able to understand your perception and your side of the story, okay? And many times when you're posting content, post as a reader, not as a creator. Post as a reader, not as a creator. Many times we have our own opinions, we have our own perceptions, but because we deal with a huge number of people, we actually need to have the understanding that we are creating for a wider community. We are creating for people with different opinions. So we should not, in a way, sometimes you can impose your opinion because you want people to believe in what you're saying. But you see, if you want people to believe in what you're saying, you need to bring that process to growth. This is why I tell you that buying followers and going into all these boards and stuff, it will not give you growth. And what that will result into, imagine somebody having 1 million followers, and when you check out their content, they have 10 likes, okay? That will chase you away from the platform. You will actually wonder, because definitely what will come to your mind is, there's a problem here. How can this person post this article? How can they post this and then only 10 likes out of 1 million followers? So that happens because people rushed the growth. People rushed the process. When you grow with the process, you actually create a better platform for you to nurture your community. Okay? So nurturing the community is very important. And growth is not an overnight success. Okay? Growth is in phases. You learn how to do your content first, you learn how to communicate with your followers first, you learn how to support. Okay? So my next point that I want you guys to note when it comes to growing your Twitter. Twitter is, there is this saying of, jab, 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 right hook. Jab, 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 right hook. Now, jab, 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 right hook. Actually, there is even a book by Gary Vaynerchuk, if you guys know him. Jab, 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 right hook is a very good formula, which I want you guys to take away from this live stream. Jab, jab, right hook means give, 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 then ask. Okay? I want you guys to think about that. Jab, 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 right hook. It's a boxing combination. But it means give, 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 then ask. In other words, what I'm trying to drive at is you need to also care for your community so that there is reciprocity of love. Reciprocate what you want them to do for you. Do it for them. Every time you post content and people realize that you actually go ahead out of your way to support them in their own circles, in their own craft, if they need your support to reach out to more numbers, is the same way they are going to give you that love back. Many people, and I repeat, many people forget to share the love. They just keep asking. Hey guys, retweet my post. Hey guys, help me reach out to this. Hey guys, I have a new product. Reach out to my website. Hey guys, we have a new campaign. Have you checked it out? Hey, the speed is too much. Okay? Reduce it. Get some time to relax. Look at what your community is doing as well. And this is where the listening comes in. Listening, when people say social media success has too much to do with listening, when you listen on social media, it doesn't mean you're going to hear posts speaking in a loud voice. No, it means you are going to step back, look at what your community is doing, look at how are they nurturing this, how are they focused. You understand? What are they looking at? What are their most important needs? How do they react to my posts? Okay? How many people are sending me DMs? How many people are going ahead from my Twitter to go ahead to my website? How many people are going ahead to check out my LinkedIn? Okay? The moment you realize that people are actually doing actions or taking action on your posts, you need to do the same on theirs. And this is a typical example. Twitter has so many features, okay? So I'm gonna open up my phone here. I'm gonna open up my phone and I'll open my Twitter and show you guys the different features on Twitter, okay? So if you have somewhere you're noting, I want to teach you how you use some of these features to hook into your audience and keep growing your platform. Okay? So, if you go to your account, of course, Twitter has a home. Okay? It has a home, it's got search, it's got notifications, and it's got a DM. All these functions here, you very much need to know what they do, because if you're going to use this application so well, you need to understand what these features mean. Okay, so the home will give you the overview of what people are posting, and that is exactly what you need to know, because you need to be reading through the content. Now the search, I want you guys to be able to use the search button. The search is this button here. Okay, when you click the search button, it will show you the trends that are happening. That is number one. When you click the search button, it will show you the trends. So before we even go further on the search button, when you're creating content, you need to know what is trending. What are people talking about? Because Twitter will always give you the trending topics, the top 10 or top 20, depending on your settings on the app. You'll be able to see the top 20 or the top 10 trends that are happening. Now, if you have a campaign that you're going to communicate about, because when you see these trends, okay, the trends will show you where people's attention span is. Where the attention span is. The search button where trends are will show you. For example, if I'm going to be talking about, now I can see there is NBS Saturday Night Live, there is NTV Dance Party, there is Eid Mubarak. If I'm going to be talking about a campaign right now, one of those hashtags that are trending would actually appear in my content. You know why? Because when a hashtag is trending, it is most likely that you're gonna have more people reading your content, hence increasing your impressions. Now, how the Twitter algorithm works is that when your content gets viewed by a lot of people, the more that content is given priority on the timeline. Okay? Your content will always surface for people to read. So when you use the search button, yeah, click it the first time, it will show you a search bar up here, and it will show you the trends. Include trends in your campaigns, in your content, in everything that you do. Never go to social media and post content about anything before searching what is trending. Okay? And for those of you that are watching me, I want you guys to try out these things and see the magic that will happen with your account. Stop posting content from nowhere without looking at what is trending. Because what is trending is what is going to guide you to the next level. If you've been creating content about a drink or about anything, you now know NTV Dance Party is trending. You now know NBS Saturday Night Live is trending. Eid Mubarak is trending. So you know all these things are actually trending. So ask yourself, how do I get involved in Eid Mubarak? Or maybe as a brand, before we post anything, let's go back and design a banner and wish all the Muslim brothers and sisters Eid Mubarak. When you post that and you put the hashtag Eid Mubarak, you're going to have thousands of people get exposed to your content, okay? And that is what will improve your impressions. Now, away from the trending topics being on the search button, I'm gonna teach you guys also how to look out for people talking about your brand. Many people may be talking about you, but they even don't know the handle you use, or they don't know the names you use on social media. But they have had a conversation about your brand, they have had a conversation about what you're doing, or about your campaign, or about anything that you always keep talking about, okay? So, because of that, I want you guys to always use the search button and type in the brand that you're working for or your name. For example, I'll type in Yugaman here, okay? I'll type in Yugaman and I say search, okay? And I say search. All right, guys, I'm back. Yeah, I was just telling the kids to play from the other side. Yeah, so, guys, I'm still talking about the search button. So when you put in your brand and you search, okay? So put in your brand and search. Now, on top there is latest, there is top, latest, people, photos, videos. You can now go to latest, okay? So when you go to latest, it is gonna show you everybody that has mentioned that name you have typed in. These people sometimes have not tagged you. So if you're waiting to reply to only people that have tagged you, then you are missing a point. You are missing a point. I want you guys to make use of the search box, the search feature on Twitter. The magic of engagement, the magic of attracting bigger communities to yourself is in the search button. Twitter search is the biggest opportunity. Okay, so apart from searching for your name, how can you use Twitter search to even reach out to more people? First and foremost, if I'm dealing in shoes, I'm gonna go and type the word shoes, and maybe shoes space Uganda in my Twitter search. It is gonna show me all the conversations about shoes and in Uganda. Now, within those conversations, it is most likely that I'll find people saying, hey, who is selling leather shoes? Who is selling these shoes? I need open flat shoes. I need this and that. In that way, you can actually be able to communicate to this person that is searching openly on the net and bring them to your DM. And even sometimes you can recommend. Necessarily, you don't have to be the one selling the product. You could actually recommend other people. Now, this individual, first of all, after you have engaged them, the first thing they will do is come and follow you, okay? If they are impressed, they will even turn on the notifications button on Twitter, so that every time you post, they get to know that, hey, okay, Yugaman has posted, or Dense Duke has posted, all right? And what will happen, that community will keep growing. Do this all the time. Do this over and over. Do not spend a lot of time scrolling through all the conversations. No. Do use the features that Twitter has to reach out to your desired audience. Use the features that Twitter has to reach out to your desired audience. All right. So, that is now, oh, Sharon, Is it my, I don't know. Do I need to get closer? Can you hear me now, Sharon? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Sharon? Just let me know. Just let me know if you can hear me well, so I can continue. Sharon, can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you. So, guys, we're still discussing the search button, okay? So I'm telling you that when you search, you're actually in better position to find the new people and the audience that you're looking for. Now, many people always keep asking the question, oh, how do I find my right audience on Twitter? How do I find my audience that is interested in my product? The magic behind finding the right audience and the people that are interested in your product is the search button. I have told you guys, put any word in the search box on Twitter, any word that you want to search and find people talking about it, it will give you results. The moment you get Oh, okay. So Brian is saying, first, guys, by the way, feel free to ask me a question in the comment box here. So Brian is saying, we summarize the part on how to utilize the people that are talking about your brand. Great. Brian, I mentioned Twitter has features, okay? I opened this up and talked about, if you talk about Twitter features, the ones that are open to everybody are, we have home, which shows the posts other people have made that you follow. There is a search button. So, Brian, where I said people that have mentioned your brand appear nowhere else apart from the notifications and the search button. But for the notifications on Twitter, those are people that have mentioned you, that mention you without using your handle. So those are the real people you need to look out for. So go to the search button, put in your business name, put in your product name, put in your brand name, and click search. When you get the results, you're gonna have a section of top posts. Now, top posts, it means somebody talked about you and that post was actually, it got a lot of impressions. That is how top posts come about, okay? And then, when you go to the latest, so I would ask you that you click latest, okay, after clicking the search. When you go to latest and you put in your brand name, you will be surprised. Guys, you will be surprised how many people have been talking about you for years and you have never come to reply to them. So the magic of people who talk about your brand is in the search button. Because some of these people know your handle or they don't know. Or they found out your product and they used it but you're not aware, okay? So when you open that search and create a view of the content that has been posted on that search, then you are in position to start answering people that have actually having conversations about your brand. One thing you must realize is that people will talk about you whether you're aware or not aware on social media. Sometimes it could be negative content, other times it could be something else, okay? So when it's something else, you need to be able to do what? Okay, so we do have a lot of kids here. They keep playing at my door, so I was just telling them to extend. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. Yeah, but of course that is what happens when you're working from home. The kids will come around and disturb and all that. Yeah, so the people that are talking about your brand may be negatively or positively talking about you. Okay? Negatively or positively talking about you. So what will happen if people are negatively talking about you? Take it in good faith. Take it in good heart. Okay? And in good heart means read the point they are talking about and then look out for the answers they want to hear. Look out for the answers they are actually searching for. So that is how you actually get to find out which people are talking about your brand online and which people you should be engaging with online. So that is the search. I hope, Brian, that answers your question. Okay. Went off briefly, data had run out, but following closely. Okay, that's cool. So, guys, I've talked to you something about the search button, and you know, apart from the search button, I have talked to you about you know, the features and how you use them. Okay. Sorry about the noise in the background. The kids are playing outside, and it's only fair that they also have their bit as I do my bit, because we're all working from home. Yeah, so the other point that I want you guys to note, okay, and when it comes to social media, it's very important. I want you guys to know how to make lists. I want you guys to know how to make lists. If you click on your Twitter profile, okay, you will see something here after profile. Now, that list will help you record all the handles or the brands that you want to be engaging with in categories. And that list can be made private or it can be made public. I'm sure many of you have gone to Twitter and you've seen people have added you to a group, have added you to a list. Okay? That is the feature. Now, I have over 200 lists. I have over 200 lists. Brian, I'm going to come back to the notifications. I have over 200 lists in my list group. So, what is the relevance of lists on Twitter? Lists will help you to categorize people in your community according to the subjects that you want. Take, for example, if I want to talk to tech people, if I want to talk to radio personnel, if I want to talk to medical people, I'll put them in a list where it is easy for me to go find out where those people are. Okay? I'll put them in that list. One, because sometimes when I post content, I want them to be able to look at it. And it is very hard to memorize all the handles of people that you really want to be engaging with. So what the lists will do for you is they will give you options, okay, for you to be able to save the handles and usernames of the communities that you want to be engaging with. How is this important? Imagine having a conversation at a conference with this very awesome PR manager, with this very awesome CEO, who gave you their card and also allowed you to check on their Twitter handle, okay? The moment you check on that Twitter handle, you go, when you open their profile, click at the right corner on your phone and add them to a list. So that when you get back home or after a weekend or something, you really can go back and follow up on their content. And how do you build that solid relationship that will never break on Twitter? Every time you engage on people's content, they get notified. Okay? Brian, this is where the notifications are important. How you get to know about someone talking about you is you will get a notification. Okay? Sometimes it could be a like, sometimes it could be a retweet, sometimes it could be a mention. Another time, they could have involved you in their answer, maybe when someone was asking about a product or a service. So all these people that have mentioned you are in your notification. After your notification, you also, please guys, don't call me, please don't call me. Thank you so much. Yeah, so when you get the notifications, it will show you that someone has mentioned you. Now, please don't take 24 hours. Don't take more than 24 hours before you check out what the notifications are doing. Your response rate also encourages people to keep coming back to converse content or to even engage with you. So at least take about 6 hours. You know, it is understandable that you can take more time because you're still busy doing something. But don't take more than 24 hours before checking out on your platforms. I encourage you guys, never let people mention you for more than 24 hours and you have not reverted back to those people, because that is your community. Even you, if you sent out a notification or a message to Meme or National Water and they did not respond to you, that will piss you off. So the same thing, yes. Kale mugale wao muveyo. Sorry about that girl. Mugale wao mugende muzanyire eri eh? Sorry about that. Yeah, we do have some kids here, so, and I have to let them play, so I don't want to inconvenience them. I let them play around here, but I ask them to reduce the noise so that we can all coexist. We need to coexist. Yeah, so when people mention you, make sure you don't take too long to revert to them, okay? So that is very, very important. Now, something else that you guys need to understand: avoid colliding and with your routine, okay? Do not spread yourself too thin. And spreading yourself too thin means you want to grow all platforms at the same time. This is going to affect your concentration levels, okay? So what I would advise is that if your YouTube is already big, I advise that you now start spending more time on your platform that is weak and start nurturing a community to grow it, because that is actually magical. I'll tell you guys, when I used to blog, I was on Twitter, but I concentrated on blogging. 2010 to 2015. And I got to meet a lot of people in that section. When I went to Twitter, it was very easy to pull my audience from the blogging to Twitter. And those people gave me a very good start because they already knew me. But I focused on blogging first, then I came to Twitter. And while I was growing Twitter, after 1 year, I also started growing my LinkedIn. So I want you guys to look at the numbers you have on your platforms and draw out a priority plan. If YouTube has grown, you now need to grow your Twitter, because all these platforms need to support each other. Your Facebook needs to support your YouTube. Your YouTube needs to support your Twitter, and vice versa. Okay? And that is what we all need to focus on. Just make sure that you don't let some platforms be down. You cannot have 100K on YouTube and have 500 on Twitter. There will be no support system. Okay? That will be a self-defeating strategy. There will be no support system for your Twitter and YouTube. So what you need to do is, if your YouTube is at 100K, grow your Twitter to 50K or maybe to 20K, and then let your Facebook keep growing. You know, if you have Instagram, let Instagram keep growing. But how you grow them, it can even be a week per week. This week, you focus on Twitter and make sure that you actually nurture the community on Twitter this week. Next week, your priority is going to be LinkedIn or Instagram. Never divide up yourself so much that you want to focus on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and everything at the same time. You are going to fail. Or if you don't fail, actually, you're not going to fail. You're not going to fail, but you are going to be average. You are going to settle for averageness, which is not a very good goal for anyone that is creating content. So my advice to you all is to pick out pick out a platform to grow and develop on a given time. That is going to help your concentration levels, and it is also going to help you to understand how to nurture for that community in that time. If you're going to be responding to people on Twitter, 1 week is enough for you to actually make a good impression to your followers. If you're going to be responding to Instagram DMs and notifications, 1 week is enough for you. If it's going to be on YouTube, 1 week is good for you to do a lot of engagement on YouTube. So prioritize your platforms, okay? Prioritizing is very, very, very key. Now, after prioritizing, how do you know the right content, okay, to put out for your audience? How do you know the right content to put out for your audience? Do not be deceived. You cannot quantify it if you can't measure it. Analytics, analytics, analytics. That aspect is the most ignored aspect when it comes to digital marketing by brands and by so many individuals. But I'll tell you, the magic to knowing what content is working for people, the magic to knowing who actually enjoys your content and how many there are, okay? You need to be able to do the analytics. And how do you do the analytics? Every post you make on social media, okay, first and foremost, if you're using a desktop, you can always visit www.twitter.com/analytics. So you will sign in and they will give you a detailed report of 20 days activity. On that report, it will show you your audience, it will show you the tweets that are top, it will show you the top mentions, it will show you the top followers, it will show you anything that has been happening in the last 28 days. But also the analytics can be on the post itself, okay? So the visible features sometimes can determine how a post has performed on your platform. Say, if you have so many retweets, that post is doing well. If you have so many likes, that post is doing well. If you have so many comments or replies on that post, it is doing well. But that is not enough. So I want to show you guys, when you go to your profile, okay, and you check out your posts, when you click a post and you go down here, you will see an option before actually the icons for reply, retweet, like, and share. There is an option called Twitter Tweet Activity, okay? If you click Tweet Activity on any of your posts and expand, it will show you from impressions to total engagement to media engagements, detail expands, likes, link clicks, retweets, profile clicks. Now, your growth is in your profile clicks here, okay? Because when you post content, sometimes people are prompted to go and check out on your bio. Who is this guy? What do they do? What do they deal in? Now, you need to know, Brian, I'm going to answer that. You need to know how this impacts your growth on Twitter. When you check out and more people are actually giving you impressions and visiting your profile, it means you're actually likely to get more people following you. So analytics is very, very important. I know it is the most boring part of doing digital content, but it is very interesting if you learn how to interpret your analytics. It is very, very interesting. And I would encourage you guys, wherever you are at any particular time, I would encourage you, go ahead and do some analytics on your platform. Click on the post, view tweet activity. If you're actually using a desktop, view your entire report, www.twitter.com/analytics. Go and look at how your platform is performing. Know who is your top follower. So when you go to the analytics, you will see who has been your top follower. Now, once you realize that Douglas Luanga, all these guys who are big on Twitter, big on what, if one of them has followed you, the trick is one. Reach out to them in the DM and thank them for having checked out your profile. That one message that says, hey, hi Douglas, thank you so much for checking out my profile. I'm happy to connect with you on this platform. That is the magic. Conversion is my next point. Okay? And all these things are synced. All these things are linked one after another, one after another. I don't want you guys to get surprised that the way I'm talking about them is like I have written them somewhere. No, I haven't written them somewhere. But because of the time I have spent on these platforms, I know how these features are linked with one another. Now, let me see. Brian had a question here. What would that imply? Couldn't they be envious or jealous or proud? Or maybe it's you are selling a new concept they are not used to. How do you try to create your message and get more attention? Thank you, Brian, for that question. How do you create a message and get more attention? I told you every platform has a way you attract. Every platform has a way you attract people to give attention to your content. On Twitter, I have told you the search button and the trends button is the most important. Okay? How to create your message and tap into the attention of people? Two things. Two things, Brian. One, check out what is trending on Twitter. For other platforms, we shall talk about that later. On Twitter as a platform, always make sure that on your list of activity when you're on the platform, one is to check what is trending. It is very, very important because it will give you a direction of what kind of group or attention or people talking about a certain thing that you want to tap into. Secondly, when you use the search button, search about the topic you're about to talk about. Say, for example, if you have new dresses in town, you want to know who has been talking about dresses on Twitter. So just go to Twitter, in search, put in dresses in Uganda or dresses space Uganda. Put in the keywords. Now, that will show you the people that have been talking about that particular item or that particular name. Okay? Now, as you create your content, you are already aware of what people have been saying on the platform. So you want to bring a point that will attract those that have already been talking and the new people that follow you in your community. So that is where the magic lies, Brian. Read what is trending. Okay? You already have your message, by the way. Your message should not come from what is trending. You only read what is trending to know how to craft your message in a better way when you post it, so that you tap into the hashtags that have people that are talking or people that are reading a lot of content. Then the reason you search about the conversation you're going to be posting is you want to know what voices have been there before and what voice do you want to use to tap into those voices and tap into the new people that actually exist on the platform. That is where the magic is, Brian. Then I was talking about conversion. Now, many of you are going to ask a question, hey, how do I convert people on Twitter? I'm selling dresses, but people are not buying. I'm selling spare parts, people are not asking questions. We are in NGO, people are not buying. How do you convert people from social media to the sales funnel or to actual buying? Now, if you're enjoying this live stream, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and also don't forget to share, because learning never stops. We all can learn and create better content and grow our platforms. So how do you convert on Twitter? 3 conversion features on Twitter apply. 1, Twitter lists. 2, notifications. 3, DMs. I'll repeat. 3 features on Twitter directly convert people to sales. 1, Twitter lists. 2, notifications. 3, the DM. We have talked about Twitter lists. We have talked about notifications. Let's talk about the DM. The DM is the direct messaging feature, which is actually a very strong tool in creating a B2B relationship and in creating a B2C relationship. B2B is business to business. B2C is business to customer. Why is the DM so important on Twitter? The DM, first and foremost, if you are an established business brand, is the #1 feature to help you solve crisis. In times where things are backfired, in times where people are talking negatively about you, the DM is the magic. The conversion happens in the DM at the same time as the fire extinguishers to the negative conversation about your brand happen in the DM. First, before we look at how you put off crisis for your brand, maybe that will be another topic as well. How you convert your followers, the people that engage on your content, to actual buyers. Like I already told you that the search box and the trends always will tell you what people are talking about. And then you need to go find, because when you search, for example, you're selling cakes in Uganda or cakes in Kampala, you can put in cakes in Kampala in the search box. And then you'll find all these posts, hey guys, I'm looking for a bakery, I'm looking for a shop that sells cakes, and all that kind of stuff. Okay? I need to refresh a bit so I can be able to give you guys with a very good audible voice. When you look out for those people and you look at what they're asking, don't answer their questions on the TL. Only do that if they don't follow you or there is no option of you DMing them. Because some people's DMs are private, other people's DMs are open. If this person has an open DM, go ahead and DM them and tell them, hey, Jack, hey, Glory, hey, Dennis, or hey, Sharon, I found your post on Twitter about cakes in Kampala. We are a cakes shop located near Sheraton, located at Pioneer Mall. Would you mind checking out some of our cakes? Then you go ahead, the person will go ahead and say, hey, hi, how are you? Yeah. I was looking for some cakes here. Can you please send me some pictures? Or do you do birthday cakes? Or do you take orders? How long does it take and stuff? When you start to have that conversation, even if that person doesn't buy today, they'll buy next time. They will buy next time. The other way to convert people, okay? Maybe I'm selling this car. It's got a map of Uganda, and I want to ask people, I get it another different cap without a map of Uganda. I can name this option A and the other cap option B, okay? Then I make a post to say, farm to mean family, it's a slang for family. Farm, comma, A or B, question mark. And maybe if you have a hashtag for your brand, put that hashtag. Now, people are going to go ahead and engage on that post. For you as a person that is intending to target clients, for every person that said A, which has a map, and you're dealing in decorated accessories maybe, or in caps that are personalized and stuff like that, you take notice of who is saying A. And later on, when you've composed a message, go and send it to this person. And tell them, hey, look here, I saw you selected this option, B. We have several of those in our shop that we can actually customize for you. We can even put on pictures for your babies for any special events. That, in the DM, is where conversion starts from. That's how you make money on Twitter. That's how you make money on social media. Okay? Yes, Lam Media. True. True what you have commented. Twitter lists, notifications, and DMs. So guys, I don't want to own the show. Guys, start firing me some questions in the comment section. Please fire me some questions. I want to answer. If you're watching in, I want to answer some of your questions. Go ahead and put down some questions there. I wanna answer them now. I wanna answer them now. So kindly ask the questions. Ask the questions. Ask the questions. I wanna answer some questions. Question and answer session. Question and answer session time. So the next time, maybe when I come back, hey, what's up, Margaret Namaganda? Hello, thanks for tuning in. So Margaret, we are doing a question and answer session right now. If friends here, Margaret, I think everybody that is watching in is capable of being a friend. Yeah, we're here. So if you have any questions, guys, kindly go ahead before I conclude this topic. Okay, is it safe to stay away from politics as an influencer? Thank you, Liam Media, for that question. All right. Let me answer that question. In a different video, I'll come and tell you the different types of marketing that are actually catchy on social media. But first and foremost, Liam Media, let me answer your question. Is it safe to stay away from politics as an influencer? I want to give you two answers. I don't want to say no, or I don't want to say directly yes. But I want to give you two answers. One, if you're going to be talking about politics, make sure it does not collide with your brand and its reputation. If you're going to be talking about politics, make sure the conversation you are putting on social media about politics doesn't collide with your brand and reputation. Because politics is a game of opinions. There is opinion A, B, and C. If you so much take your brand to A, it may rub the people in B and C in a different way. Okay? If you so much go into B, it may be rub the people in A and C badly. So my advice would be, as an individual, if you have a personal account, talk about the politics. If you are using your personal account as your business account, I would encourage you that make sure you don't talk about political issues that rub your audience the wrong way. Make sure that doesn't happen. Two, politics and influencing. If you're not a political influencer, always take your conversation around the points that make sense for you in politics, but don't directly drive that to your audience. I don't know if it is understandable. If I have something to talk about that is political, I'm going to look at the sparks of that point. Okay? I'm not going to come out and say, hey, I hate NRM, I hate People Power, I hate DP, I hate FDC. No, because I have an audience that belongs to all those political parties. But if I have a point to make about any of those parties, I'll bring out my content in a way that doesn't directly attack people. And the reason I encourage you to stay out of direct political conversations is one, remember your audience is bigger than you. The people that support you are bigger than you, way much bigger than you. And therefore, you owe them respect by not categorizing them to the weak and the strong. Because you are supposed to stand in the middle and elevate them to achieve their goals and ambitions and dreams. Even though our followers sometimes don't speak to us, what we post and what we say does affect how they react to us. Okay? And that is very, very important. Okay, so Sharon says, if your account is a business account, can you tweet personal stuff, etc., or you only tweet business? Sharon, thank you so much for this question. I'll also give you two things. The reason I give two options is you get to think about which one works for you. First option, your account is personal and it is the business account. It can do both. You can fundamentally do both. Businesses have a human touch, and businesses have a human face. So it doesn't cost you to post a personal post on a business account. And also, it won't cost you to post a business post on a personal account. However, when you're creating this content, you must be very conscious, because remember, as individuals, we have our own beliefs, but as businesses, we must treat business as business. So at some point, if you really have so many personal opinions, personal posts you want to make, I would encourage you that you open up a personal account different from your business account. It is safer that way. Because your business account can speak as a person, and your personal account can speak as a business. But the challenge can be for you is, how do you balance the two? And that is the biggest challenge that you're likely to have. How you balance the two is actually what will matter most. Okay? Is what will matter most. So, Sharon, the other option you have, okay, is to make sure when you're going to do a personal post, it doesn't go against your business brand. The people online are very, very conscious. There is what they call receipts. Okay? And I have seen a lot of this. Today, you can post, maybe something that is against a certain thing. And then the next day, because you forget that your business account posted something against the same thing, you go and use a personal view to post on the same account a view that is against the other. So what the online community will do, and this is how people follow, they're going to take a screenshot of your first post you made maybe a month or even years ago, and then take a screenshot of your current post and post them about your business. You don't want to be going through that situation. So I would encourage you, Sharon, you can balance. Make sure your personal posts don't go against the ethical behavior, the good ethical conduct of business and brands. And also make sure your business content doesn't go against your personal aspirations and ambitions. Okay? Because that is very important. So strike a balance between the two, and you'll be good to go. In fact, sometimes because owning many accounts also is tricky, you will over-divide yourself and you can't focus and concentrate to grow your platform. I would encourage you, if you have a business account, look at a way how you can be able to balance your personal and business opinions in your content. That will help you to avoid having so many accounts that you need to grow over a big period of time. Okay, so Liam Media asks, why does Twitter seem to have so many toxic people lately? Twitter doesn't have toxic people. You haven't seen Facebook, Liam. Facebook, LinkedIn even have scammers, even Facebook. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is, toxic people are on every platform, even YouTube, okay, even here. So guys, if you're watching, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up on this post. All right, so Liam, toxic people are everywhere. And maybe in another session, I'll talk about how to deal with negativity online, because I know people that have been depressed by others and they keep blocking all the time when they're on social media. But there is a way we can avoid that, okay? For example, Twitter has features that can help you avoid toxic people. One, you can mute. Two, you can actually mute words as well. Say, for example, some people are too vulgar. You can mute those words. You know, words like "fu," words like what? You mute them, they will never appear in your conversations, okay? Then also you can mute those individuals. Mute their handles. And how do you mute someone? You open their profile, okay? Open their profile, go to the options in the right, upper right hand corner, click on the options and mute. Now, if you mute these people and they go ahead to mention you by tagging you, because when you mute them, you'll never see their content again. But if you go ahead, if they go ahead to mention you in some of their nonsensical posts, nonsensical in quotes, you can go ahead and click the same option this time and block. Many people think blocking people on social media is very bad. I'll tell you, you don't want to feel bad because you want to create content and somebody is always killing your vibe. Okay? The content you create on your TL reflects how you're feeling, how you're going about. Because if you need a clear mind and a clear conscience to create content that is engaging. So don't let people, negative people, chase you away from a platform. Deal with them. There are options, mute them, unfollow them, block. Block them. Hey guys who are watching in, any more questions? Any more questions? Liam, I hope I answered your question. Any more questions, guys? If you have more questions, send them through before we wind up. Does any of you guys have any questions? Guys, I always want to say, create stronger communities. Don't let your links go down. Okay? Keep reaching out to people. Guys, do you have any other questions? I asked, please. Okay, Brian. Oh, let me look at Brian's question here. Could you please re-answer the questions I asked about viewers versus responses to the post, e.g. retweets and that? Okay, so Brian, viewers and their comments on your posts. Brian, you could give me a perspective. Do you mean, how do you convert people that are commenting and retweeting your posts? Brian, if you're watching, kindly rephrase your question. Just rephrase your question for me to be able to give you an answer that is actually responding to what you asked, not what I am imagining. That will be very important, Brian, if you do that for me. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. We're going to do this more and more often, okay? We're going to be going live to do this more and more often. We're going to have these conversations more and more. There is so much life to doing a live video. Brian, please rephrase the question. I read the first statement. I don't know why, the likes I had asked earlier. Okay. So Brian, the question, I think, what would that imply? Could it be the behavior of jealousy, proud, or maybe it's because they're selling, they're not used to? How do you try to create your message to get more attention? Okay. How do you create your message to get more attention? Brian, that is the question you asked. Okay? Okay, cool. So I'll go back to, okay. So, Brian, I talked about the features that indicate where the attention is on Twitter. I talked about the notifications, and I also talked about the search button. When you click the search button, you look at the trends. And I repeat this, guys. Don't go on Twitter and just post and run away. Go on Twitter, open the trends. When you open the trends and you already have your message, you know how to craft your message to appeal to the latest trends. That is one way of tapping into bigger attention of bigger audiences. 2, before you post a message, it is very important. If I'm going to be posting Walker, if I'm going to be posting about anything, yeah, I'll need to search who has been talking about this conversation earlier. So when I read what they're about, it gives me a perspective of how to bring out my own conversation. So that becomes very, very important, Brian. So 1, check out on the trends. 2, do a search before you post to see which people are talking about that conversation. So it gives you a perspective of who you want to target in your post. You also don't want to post something that people have posted over and over and over again about a product. So when you do a search of the keywords of what you're about to post, and you find people have not talked about what you're going to post, or there are people who have been asking questions, then in your post you may start to answer those questions, or you may insinuate something that will attract that audience to come and engage on it. Okay, so you continue to say, you could have many viewers on your post, say on FB, but few likes and follows. What would that imply? The algorithm of Facebook and Twitter are totally different, Brian, but I'll tell you something. From a personal perspective, every time I have made Facebook posts and I haven't sponsored them, I don't get buyers, okay? I don't get conversions. But I get the likes. I get the likes, I get the impressions. When it comes to Twitter, I always get organic likes without even buying ads. And I get even people buying some of the products that we sell on Twitter. So the correlation between likes, retweets, or likes and comments and the conversion may not be so direct on Facebook. However, on Twitter, it is almost direct because content that appeals to people, usually there is a lot of action that results from that content to the people. So for Facebook, and Facebook keeps changing their algorithm, you know, so maybe that can be another video that we can explore and see how Facebook is different from Twitter. But I would encourage you that start creating engaging posts, okay? Create engaging posts, create a lot of good stuff that will attract people to your posts. So guys, does anyone have another question? Does anyone have another question before we wind up? Does anyone have another question before we wind up? Selling on LinkedIn must be a hard paper. Liam, selling on LinkedIn is actually not hard. We shall talk about that one in another video. Okay, how often should you post as a business? You can post as many times as you want, so long as your content is well spaced out. However, I would encourage you to post at least 4 times on Twitter. The reason why I encourage you to post 4 times is Twitter is a timely app. Okay? Twitter is a timely app, so I encourage you to make at least 4 posts. But a day has 24 hours, and online platforms always have readers from morning to night to morning. So just go and space your content well. and give it time for people to really understand. Don't post back to back, okay? Unless if you're doing a live event, say like you are into a sports competition, or you're attending a conference where you're relaying the details of what's happening at the conference to your followers. Four times a day, Brian, 4 times a day. 4 times a day. That's on Twitter. Then on Facebook, it could be 2 times a week. Because Facebook content takes time actually before people engage. Takes time. But for Twitter, the Twitter algorithm is real time. As you post, people start engaging. On Facebook, as you post, sometimes your content takes time before it is showed to your audience. So, guys, if there are no more questions, I want to thank you so much. Brian, depending on what you're talking about, but I would encourage you that you maximize the characters of Twitter. There are 280 characters. The reason those characters were increased by 100, I think, from 180 to 280, is because they needed to give people to be able to give a detailed description or a detailed story. So I encourage you to exploit all those characters in Twitter to tell your story. Logon TV, how important is retweeting? Oh, Logon TV, very, very, very important. When it comes to nurturing a community, Logon TV, you have just maybe joined in. I talked about a combination that is used in boxing. Jab, 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 right hook. Jab, 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 right hook. Give, 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 then ask. That's what it means. So Logon TV, if you want people to keep retweeting your content and sharing your content, retweeting is sharing. Retweeting is sharing, okay? If you want people to retweet your content, please retweet theirs as well. Don't retweet everything, because you don't want to retweet things that are in competition with your brands. Retweet that content that doesn't affect your brand or that is not directly in competition with you. But when it comes to nurturing a community, and there are these people that have always been commenting, retweeting your content, go and click your post and look at those names. If you check out their profiles and they have some important posts they have made and they're also asking people to retweet, go ahead and retweet. Very important feature. Retweeting and liking. Remember, every time you retweet, the person gets a notification. Every time you like, they get a notification. The more notifications they get, the more they know you are supporting them. That is where the magic is. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching in. I don't know if there's any other question as regards Twitter and growing your audience. If there is any other question, please post it before we actually end this video. We shall be doing more of these videos. You guys need to be checking out my Twitter to see to see the posts in case I'm going to be doing a live. Thank you, Logon TV. Thank you so much. Any other questions, guys? Question and answer session. I don't want anyone to come and watch this session and not go away with anything. So if you have a question, please post it. If you've just joined in, you can watch this video. It will teach you a lot. What happened to Twitter parties? Twitter parties actually still do happen, but of course, they are in so many different sessions now. People now post different hashtags where they meet up. We used to have a UOT night. There are so many happening, Liam. They still happen. You just need to find the right hashtag. Brian Regendo, do you mind sharing your number? Oh yeah. If you actually want my number, It's I'll give you my WhatsApp number. Plus 256 75 006 1250. Brian, that's my number. Or you can also send me a DM on Twitter in case you want more details. All right. I hope the questions are all done, and thank you guys for tuning in today, and thank you so much for subscribing to this page. I have always looked actually for this opportunity to be able to pass on this information. Oh, between posting photos and words, which is best? Logan TV, thank you for that question. Should you post photos or words? I will say both of them are very important. However, photos communicate way faster, because even when I don't click on your post to expand it, I could easily see what a photo is talking about. But I would encourage you that you post a photo and a short description. A photo and a short description. It's the content that, because visuals are very powerful. Visuals are very, very powerful. When you do a visual, it's very powerful, and many people will actually get attracted to that. Yeah, so I encourage you to balance. However, if you use a photo, also when you use a photo, guys, remember there are different dimensions for different platforms. I encourage you go to the editing, like after you posted the photo, edit it properly to a square. A square photo is always the best because it appears on every gadget the way you have posted it. Okay, any more questions, guys, before we sign out? Any more questions before we sign out? I'm so happy to have you guys here, and I'm so happy to, I'm going to be doing a lot of more live content than posting videos that have been edited. I want to do a lot of this so you guys can learn more from some of this. What's the logic behind limiting the number of words yet other social media platforms don't? Logon TV, the story behind Twitter is the founders started Twitter as an SMS app. Okay? So the original creativity of Twitter is from an SMS perception. Okay? SMS, short messages. You know these SMSs we send on phones. So they started Twitter to let people communicate in as brief as an SMS. So that is the reason even Twitter to expand from 180 characters to 280 took some time, as Facebook even had 2,000 plus. Okay? So the founders of this app wanted a unique feature which almost is like an SMS, like communicate in a summarized way as though you're sending an SMS. So that is the story behind the limited characters of Twitter. I don't know if they will revise that at a later stage, but I don't think they will. Because with the 280 characters, it's good enough to write a headline, a story, or anything. Okay, Brian, you ask, is it key to tag popular people on Twitter if they are your friends and relevant to your topic? Does it help? Yes, it is very important to tag, but don't overdo it. If you want someone to help you retweet, you can make a post and send them a link in their DM. In fact, sometimes posts that don't have any tags get more engagement than those that have tags. The way people perceive content is, if I mention a certain person on my content, sometimes people will think I'm addressing the issue to that person alone. So I would encourage you that construct plain content. Unless if you're mentioning a brand that is very important in that bit, or if you're mentioning someone that is very important in that comment, and it is easy for people to understand that you are actually referring to that. But I would encourage you to make your content plain, and maybe with the hashtags, relevant hashtags, and then go ahead to send a link to those people you think are famous and they are your friends, and ask them to retweet your content. Okay, so tagging a popular player on Twitter in a post referring to my team. I would still not give you guarantee that those people will retweet, but if they are very active on Twitter, they will go ahead and retweet, and I think your content will end up getting more engagement. But it is not a must that everybody you have tagged is going to retweet your content. And then also, don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Don't over tag in every post. Tag where it is necessary. If you really create a post and you think people should be sharing it, go ahead, copy the link of that post, send it to the DM of your friends and those people you think will be interested in sharing your content. Okay. Any other questions, guys, before I close the Twitter session? We shall have, I will tell you guys how I grew my account from 0 to 1,000 subscribers in 27 days. I think that will be very, very important. That will be very, very important in building. The last tip I want to give you guys, if you want to grow your Twitter, teamwork. Teamwork. Reach out to the people you think will give you impact. And then, boom, your Twitter will go up. That's okay, Sharon. That's very okay. That's very okay. I want us to all be able to leverage on these platforms and create impact. The reason I really appreciate being on YouTube is for a very long time I've lacked a platform to put these conversations on, and now YouTube, I can tell you guys, you need to turn the notifications on. I've been doing this game since 2010. Resigned my office job in 2018, January. Since then, I have been depending on my creativity and digital marketing for my survival and other things. So I have learned a lot of lessons in this game, and I would love to share those with you. So kindly turn on the notifications. Always keep checking out my content. We're going to do a lot of this and more often. So adios. Thank you guys so much. Much love and stay blessed. Make sure you connect and stay better and get better, not bitter. Much love. Stay safe.